Well, hello everyone. My name is Nicky Adolfi, and I'm one of the directors of the Autonomy Hotline. I have with us today Sarah Holdway. Sarah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sarah Holdway. I'm the second director of the Autonomy Hotline. Nice to meet all of you and welcome to the Anchor course.
So, what is the hotline all about, Sarah, and what do we do?
I think what don't we do is probably a better question.
Probably right, yes. Go on then.
Chaos coordination,
Yeah.
disentangling. Um, I think the thing that we offer most of all is we are here to hear you and hear your voice and understand what has happened to you, understand your perspective as an individual, and really just sit down and unpick all of the problems that you're currently facing, which by and large probably are very common problems. But when it's you and your family, they feel very personal problems.
I think the vision was to have some kind of triage emergency helpline that then we could then allocate some specific resources to a case if needed. And what's clear is that there's a lot of people in crisis in health and social care right now, and I think that having a helpline that they can turn to is an immensely valuable resource. And so there's usually some kind of legal aspect, and they often don't trust anybody else to really go deeper into the emotional trauma of cases. So I think that we do that particularly well. We do hold people in a safe place when they phone, and they feel like we understand what they're going through. We have a number of people in our team who have some kind of lived experience, and that kind of echoes into understanding the complexity of cases. So we set up in 2021. I started it just on my own, and then Sarah joined me fairly shortly after. And we started taking cases. Some of them were about COVID, some of them about family law, some of them court protection. But there are some common elements amongst every case that we have. What sort of common issues or problems do you see frequently, Sarah?
So obviously I do a lot of maternity cases. I used to be a doula, so I utilise my doula knowledge in terms of maternity. That then stretches out into obviously personal autonomy and people not feeling heard. One of the most common things that I hear and see is people feel like social workers don't really understand them as a person, and they don't understand that maybe they might make a lifestyle choice that might be seen as alternative. Um, there's a lot of home education families who feel railroaded. We have a lot of families who have got quite complex needs and their trust has completely gone within social care. And I find myself building a lot of bridges and asking them to trust me in order to help me help them. Um, I think by and large, the biggest thing that we face is people genuinely feeling sort of unheard, uncared for, and with frequent changes of staff, they might trust one member of staff. And just as they've started to trust them and open up a little bit, the staffing changes and they have to go through the process all over again.
Yeah. So the anchor course.
The Anchor course. So, Nicky, why did we start the Anchor course? What was your vision when you thought about it?
I felt that we were giving very, very similar information to all the kinds of cases that we've described just now. And I felt that we were kind of having a membership system that wasn't really effective for what we wanted. And it was difficult to know if we were really meeting people's needs. So we were charging a small amount for a membership, but it wasn't really membership. And we sometimes weren't actively able to give advocacy to people that were signing up. And that left a bit of a problem. Some people were getting all the attention and other people weren't getting anything for about the same price. So what I want to do is to condense all the information that we're kind of giving out into a packaged product, which I'm hoping is the Anchor course. So Anchor, ANCHOR, there is 6 sessions that match the acronym. We think we've condensed everything people need into these 6 things.
Yeah,
So I'm quite
we do get
excited
a lot.
about it.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Sorry.
I was thinking like there's so many similarities with every single case that once you remove the emotional and personal layers from everything, the problem for each client remains the same.
Yeah, so you can have a medical case, you can have a court protection case, elderly abuse, everything like that. And we deal a lot with family law, anything from the beginning of life, end of life. We see the same common themes. And in our tagline, it's resisting coercion in health and social care. So a lot of this is identifying the coercive power and how to retain your power. And there's that image of the anchor, is that holding firm, is really, really powerful, because this is kind of there's an image of being in the storm, like a ship in a storm. And I often come back to thinking about how do you steer this when there's so much chaos management.
Absolutely.
When that all of that is going on and you want to hold your own ground. So that image of the anchor is very powerful, and we want to give those tools to new people coming on board, so that it's less about repeating stuff, but every single client then can have the same material to start working on the case.
Yeah, and it means they can go through things and they could work things through at their own pace. And like with parts of the course, they can read things over. Sometimes like they might be going through a specific type of trauma and one part will help them, and then sorry, when that trauma has passed, sort of rereading it with fresh eyes, of being able to sort of go over and over that again with themselves and using sort of personal notes to help them work through and identifying. So obviously we did the coercion analysis, and that's a really big part of everything that we do.
Yeah.
So when you're feeling sort of a bit railroaded to make a decision, you can look at the coercive analysis chart and work out for yourself, because we want to give people their autonomy back. We want people to be able to work through things themselves with us alongside them, so that they are anchored when their ship's in a storm.
Absolutely. What's the next question? You got a question?
What are the end goals for advocacy?
I don't even know the answer to that one. Well, can you repeat that and do what is your end goal for this, Nicky? What do you envisage?
What is your end goal for this, Nicky?
My end goal is to be able to replicate easily a model that is cost effective and that gives every member the tools they need to be moving forward with their case. And that is really in a nutshell what my goal is for this, and to enable the hotline to have a reliable income stream that means that we can provide more advocates and we can provide a better service.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I think for us, being able to give people the tools to help themselves is really useful. And, when we find ourselves sort of spending a long time repeating things to people, obviously I'm happy to hold people emotionally for as long as they need. But if they can work within the course themselves, I feel like that gives them a better chance to have a lot of self-reflection and use those skills in everyday life as well as their own case.
One of the questions we'll get is about money and pricing. It's a really difficult topic. We know that most of our clients are really struggling, so we just want to make it very clear to everyone. We don't want to restrict anyone on account of payments, but that we are in need of a regular monthly donation if we consider you as one of our clients. And for some people that isn't possible. We understand that. But for those that can provide a small amount per month, we are aiming to keep this as low as possible. So the idea is you could pay a monthly fee of £12.50 or whatever it is that can be reliably managed. And you could pay the full price of 75 upfront, and you can split that in any way that works for you. And we will try and figure out, the online systems are a little bit of a minefield for us still, and we're still working through any hiccups, so be patient with us. But the idea is that we will have a recording either for 6 months, or if you need it urgently, that it can be packaged quickly, every week, or however it works for you.
Yeah. I think the key thing about us is that we try to be as flexible as we can and as family friendly as we can.
Yeah.
So, we have always tried to work around families and their needs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that's really important for both of us to be able to offer families. Because obviously we're both mums and we know that things can be really hard in terms of trying to fit things around families.
Absolutely. And so I think there's going to be some working through some of the kind of problems online, but essentially come directly to us if you're struggling with the website and let us know the teething problems. And if you can just sort of pay a monthly fee that works for you, and we'll get a video to you, or you can come to the in-person ones or join the Zoom link for the in-person ones. So at least we get a start, and we can, you can have as many of those recordings as you like while we're testing it out, and you can come back to us and sort of ask us more questions while we're in the drafting phase. But we really encourage you to come along and join in and participate while we're sort of going through this process of developing our membership program and our membership model that will really hopefully impact the maximum number of cases across the UK. And this is really, really important, is that, we're a tiny, tiny little project, just trying to get by, but we think we have tools that could help everybody. And I don't want to be sitting on that for any longer. So we're gonna run this as best we can. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna run with it. And the other thing I wanted to say is that I'd really encourage people to, if you're coming to the in-person ones, you're coming online, bring a friend for free, because we think that these beginning of the anchor course, if you've got a friend that's helping you, we can give them the support they need to become an advocate in the future if they would like to. So this is a really good introductory process to our advocacy service. We recognise that we can't always provide an advocate to your case, in which case a friend is the next best thing. They can have the tools and work with you. There will be little bits of homework, I hate that word, but there is quite a lot to do, isn't there, for most cases?
There are, I mean, I don't think people really appreciate sometimes, apart from maybe the client themselves, just how much work goes into each and every case.
Yeah.
And, I know that our clients, really do appreciate how much we do, but it's all that other behind the scenes work as well as what the client directly sees. And I think friends are, the best support that they can. But I think when they learn some of the slightly more nuanced things and understand what makes the difference between advocacy and a friendship support, then things change for everybody when they understand a little more about maybe laws or policies or what is and isn't expected, particularly when social care are involved. I think it's really vital that sort of friends understand what can and can't be done, and that their advice that they're giving is very solid from that sort of perspective.
Yeah, agreed. So sometimes there is danger that, friends or well-meaning people can start issuing advice that isn't helpful. So we really encourage them, if you've got someone you want to help, that wants to help you, and they are available, at the same time, or, present with a recording, that they can be welcome to come along, and they are the person that's working with you until we can allocate an advocate. And if they then sort of, think, oh, I'm quite good at this, or I really want to join in, that's a volunteer role that they can come along be part of the anchor course for free
Absolutely.
at no charge.
Also, as well, just want to sort of say that we're not trying to oust your friends
No.
or take over from your friends, because I think your friendship groups are the most important thing that you can retain throughout the process. And just knowing, obviously, a friend is a little different to an advocate in terms of, you could ring your friend at midnight and crying your eyes out. Um, and you could probably speak more freely around a friend. So, friendship groups are still really, really crucial to maintain.
Yeah. And same with other family members. There may well be people that you will depend on, but sometimes the advice that's given, it's quite, it needs to be quite clear. And some things people just don't understand unless they've lived through it. Then, you know, that's where we would like to have people involved that could assist you if we don't have the advocacy available. So that's really, I think, I hope that clarifies what we're doing and what we're aiming for. We start in person next month. We're going to be developing our program between now and then. If you have any further questions, I think do come and speak to me or Sarah. Sarah, is there anything else you can think of that perhaps people?
Nothing really springing to mind. Obviously, questions, but also if you've got sort of ideas, we're always happy to hear about topics that are of common interest so that we can carry on doing other courses as well. Yep, really looking forward to all these talks and events and, getting out there and meeting people and linking people up.
Absolutely. Um, I think that's it from us. Thank you very much for your time, Sarah. And
You're so welcome.
we look forward to seeing you soon on our anchor course.
Excellent. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.